Ooh, what's up people, we are back with more 80 days. We're about to embark ourselves on a journey on the Belarus Express towards Moscow. Let's go. Holy crap, plus 16, we're not even losing any coldness whatsoever. That was actually my worry point before I ended the previous video, that we were gonna lose 16 health, but that fur coat has just paid off so much. So yeah, choo choo on our way to Moscow. So I was actually thinking about this for a little while after I finished the previous video as to how I'm exactly going to do this, because the way that you're sort of playing this game, right, you're trying to find the fastest way to travel the entire Earth within 80 days, but I feel like it's almost impossible to, unless you're like really fast, which obviously I'm not, especially considering this is my first playthrough, that you could visit every single city while within those 80 days while making it around the world as well. I don't think that is possible for me, so I have a certain path in mind somewhat now, a certain route, and I'm gonna stick to it. I was thinking for a little while, should I just not go to Moscow and just bam go straight down into the rest of Europe, because that seems actually kind of exciting. But I'm actually just gonna finish the route that I have in mind for this playthrough, and then in a second playthrough, because it isn't that long of a game, so, and I actually enjoy playing it, and it actually has a lot of replayability, so a lot of the things just aren't going to be the same in your second playthrough, especially if I'm going to be going to the places where I haven't been before. And that's going to be my plan for the second playthrough, is to visit the places that I haven't visited in my second playthrough. And then if I still enjoy it a lot and I still find it a lot of fun, then I might do like a third playthrough and just try and find the most optimal path, or just most optimal route of going around the Earth in the least amount of days. But yeah, that's just really far ahead for now. We're only at the 4th video now, and at day 14, and we're about to leave Minsk Station. The train pulled out from Minsk Station well after nightfall. Monsieur Fogg had taken to tapping his watch every time we began a new journey, as though he was recording the time of departure through some fantastical spring-operated signal. Perhaps he was sending a message to whomever it was back in London, persuaded him on his curious journey of ours. It's gotta have some significant, deeper meaning behind it. You don't just do that, randomly tick on your watch every single time when you depart from a particular place, right? There was little time to do anything before total darkness enveloped the train. Oh yeah, look at that. Going on our way to Moscow. I don't think we need to converse, right? Conversing is usually you just find out about different routes and paths and whatnot. I actually just want to look and see the train travel all the way to Moscow. What is happening? Nothing is happening. I was wondering, like, this is the safest trip ever. Morning came and we were still crossing the Russian countryside. The train moving on its slow and steady way. I spent the time talking to other passengers. Sure, let's do that. Hoping to find options for our next leg. I met a charming Muscovite artist. Muscovite. I've never heard of that. So she's an artist, eh? And had a pleasant, if unproductive, conversation, whom I quickly abandoned as knowing nothing. No, let's have a pleasant conversation, but it was unproductive. That whiled the hours away. Finally, we pulled into the stone edifice that was Moscow Station and disembarked. Okay, that was a really uneventful trip, but I guess it's still was still kind of worth it. Okay, so the Lapis Eye. Are we gonna sell it here? Holy crap, this is a lot of money. Screw it. What is she gonna do anyway, right? Is she gonna kidnap us again in her airship? She might actually. Right, what else is here? We have a cold compress, perfect for soothing aching muscles. We have no muscle aches whatsoever. Salve of arnica, a healing salve for tired joints and bones. nor do we lack that in any way. A fine Bond Street top hat lined with deep black plush. Part of the gentleman traveler set. False passport? A forged Englishman passport in the name of Jack Passenger. Part of the left of the law set. So there are different sets as well. Which was this? This was part of the Russian gentleman's wardrobe set. This is part of the railway man set. Like, this is just a typical hat for a Britishman, right? So we're just gonna buy that. We earned £5,000 anyway. Might as well spend 40 or 50 something on a top hat. Might as well buy a fake passport. You never know what it's gonna come in handy for, right? Alright, so that is the market done. I think we're just gonna spend the night here. Then we're gonna do pretty much what we always do. Just explore a bit. What? Moscow was not a comfortable city for a Frenchman. A local composer had just written a piece people were calling the 1812 Overture, commemorating the Russian victory over Napoleon's invading Grande Armée in that fateful year. Patriotic passions were at fever pitch, but I did not let that stop me. So I stayed very sensible indoor. No, we're not gonna let that stop us. I am a Frenchman and I am proud. Though I resolved to affect an English accent, remain mute. Alright, so we've decided to hide our Frenchness at least a little bit, but I don't think I can do an English accent very well. So we're just gonna remain mute and unobjectionable should I encounter anyone. I paid for a coach. I traversed the city on foot. Sure, let's walk around. It's good for your health anyway. Keeping out of sight of the patrols of uniformed policemen and Cossack troops mounted on black mechanical steeds, I ventured away from the wide boulevards and the eclectic architecture of Tverskaya Street towards the Kremlin. Let's walk towards the Kremlin. That is like the... God damn it, what is it called in America? Why do I always forget names when I need it? I need the name of it. I hate to bring this up, but like, you know, the not the Twin Towers, but the other building that the airplane crashed into. Is it too early to bring it up? No, right? It's so long ago. I mean, I don't want it to sound insensitive, but I have no idea how else to make you guys sort of realize what part I mean. It's that I think it has 8 sides or something, that flat building with a circle in the middle. Well, not a circle, but it's in 8 sides as well. God damn it, what is it called? The Pentagon? I think it's the Pentagon. Yes, it suddenly came to mind. I'm sorry, I had to bring up 9/11. I'm sorry, guys. Alright, so towards the Kremlin. Spasskaya Tower, topped by the 2-headed imperial eagle, loomed over the square, but my eye was drawn to the improbable onion domes. Oh, the onion domes. I can see it right here. The top. A woman handing out pamphlets. No. We're captivated by the onion domes. St. Basil's Cathedral. They were nothing like nothing else I have ever seen. An over-iced cake of a building. A fantastic spun on architecture. I'm pretty sure these are like really colorful as well. I've seen a picture of it, I think. They were nothing like I've ever seen. A fantasy spun into architecture. A well-meaning Chinese tourist saw my wonder and handed me a postcard with a painting of St. Basil's upon it. As the bells of the nearby church chimed the hour, I returned to our hotel, content with my brief view of the Tsar's capital city. Alright, it's 6 AM. I think we can explore for about 4 hours and then we'll try and go on our way again. So a new route from St. Petersburg to Moscow discovered. I walked the streets a while, discovering the possibilities for how we might make progress. It's all about the progress. Okay. Holy crap. Let's see, there are other people here. Right? These are other people. Yeah, that's another player. He's called another player. There's Roland, another player as well. Materia user. Can I... Let's see. Day 39. I mean, he's at Yokohama. I need to go... Where is it? Here. Pyongyang. 14 days? Arrives next Tuesday. You know, I think we're gonna travel to Omsk, right? To take this journey, we will have to spend the night. Arrives Monday. It's Wednesday. That's more than spending the night. I'm lost. Where did I go? There I am. We could go here. It arrives in 4 days. I'm quite sure this departure could be altered. Let's negotiate. The fur coat from Russian gentleman's wardrobe set should spur them on. A little encouragement is required. The ticket will require 800 pounds further? I mean, where else could we go? This arrives tomorrow, but that kind of sets us off course, right? I don't think Pyongyang is gonna come into play. So I either decide I go to Ekaterinburg now, or in 4 days, or we go tomorrow to Tsaritsyn, and this brings us to Askarat, and then eventually to Kabul or something. Merv, Herat. This is Tehran. Oh, Tehran. Mount Elbrus. You know what? I'm gonna stick on my journey. Let's negotiate. Yes, 2 days. Come on, you can make it 2 days. Now my question is, what do I do for 2 days? And freaking Moscow. We've bought everything here as well. I'm guessing we just pass the night. As night fell, I buffed and shone my master's pocket watch. You know what? We're gonna do something nice for our master. Buffed and show my master's pocket watch to better ready us for our upcoming departure. Right, so it's 6 AM. Bank opens at 11. We don't really need money. Can we depart right now? Probably not. Arrives Tuesday. Arrives Sunday. Tomorrow. Can we negotiate again? Oh yes! We can embark right now. Oh yeah, this looks like a wearisome option, but the fur coat from our Russian gentleman's wardrobe set would see us right. Choo choo! So you can just keep negotiating every single time. That's nice. I mean, you also obviously have to do it in like shorter distances, because you obviously can't negotiate if you want to take a direct train from Moscow to Pyongyang. You have to take little steps every single time, like every single city that comes along the way. You can just sort of negotiate the time every single time, as long as you have money. And we got the money, we got the cha-ching, we got the gusto. The bell in the stuccoed and whitewashed Moscow station gave its third and final clang, and the platform erupted into frenzy. Convicts in the prison cars? What? Rough-shawled peasant women. We boarded calmly. We're just gonna calmly board, and found ourselves in a small cabin with heated water and even a shaving mirror. If only we had our shaving kit, right? Let's converse. Greetings, Monsieur d'Augustin. Let us share a glass of wine together, Monsieur. Okay, okay. So what in particular? What was this place called? I forgot. I was gonna ask about whatever. Now that you've mentioned, they always say that whenever I ask about the just any route whatsoever, they just say, "Oh, now that you mentioned train," like they're just waiting for any excuse for me to mention anything that even comes close to the subject train, because we're on the train, right? I could just be saying, "Good day." Oh, now that you mentioned trains, that like they'll probably just say that whenever. I've been told I know a man who once took the Transcontinental Express from San Francisco to Salt Lake City. Oh, I can't wait to get to America. What more can you tell me about Salt Lake City? Apparently some buyers will pay well for top hats from Salt Lake City. Oh, see, that's why I got it. Alright, Salt Lake City to Las Vegas. I have to go. Goodbye. No apples for you, sir. I'm gonna save my last apple. I think I have one left. Cheyenne, Omaha. Dang, we're even exploring routes or uncovering routes in America. Because obviously we got to get there sometime. We were away. I was affixed on to the window the first day. I familiarized myself with the train's layout. The 2 last carriages were heavily guarded prison cars, then 4th class, and then 3rd, and so on, with amenities scattered between passenger cars. There's a candlelit chapel, smoking room. Everywhere was dusty and cold. It's a kind of, it feels weird to have a chapel in a train, I think. At least our trains over here doesn't, but this is, yeah, a different culture probably. A candlelit chapel was presided over by the long-bearded Orthodox priest and full of the pious, and was positioned near the crew's quarters. I spent an hour listening to their murmured chanting and felt quite reassured. My bed that night swayed along. It swayed along with the motion of the train. We had several days, more days of this journey through the middle of nowhere at all. Yeah, that's kind of the thing about Russia as well. Like, it covers a large part of land, but it's mostly nothing. Our fellow passengers were a mix of convicts, political radicals, prosecutors, businessmen, and military officers. In the midst of this was a young lady, Rosa, wearing a bored expression, modestly dressed, in a rich military-style jacket and fur toque. I made her acquaintance, of course. Only too easily. She was desperate for a sympathetic ear and told me her great secret. She had fallen in love with a peasant boy in 4th class called Yek. What kind of name is Yek? By which I understood that they had shared a glance of extreme passion in the baggage car. Oh god. I actually heard this story of a friend of mine that every time he meets eyes with a girl, he just like immediately falls in love with that girl, just because, not because it's not like desperate or something, but I don't know what it is. But when he told me, I was like, well, what the hell, dude? But like every single time, like I can just imagine him taking the bus, and every single time, you know, when you just kind of sit in the back and people walk past you to sit behind you or anywhere near you or even in front of you, people always just kind of look at the back of the bus, right? Is there a place? Can I sit there? And at some point, your eyes is just gonna meet with someone, right? So I can just imagine him looking every single time at a girl, and it looks back like, oh, and he falls in love. So he falls in love like 4 times every bus journey that he takes. But yeah, alright, extreme glance of extreme passion in a baggage car. Oh, to be so young again. I resolved to keep an eye on their burgeoning locomotive romance. We crossed the Volga in the very early afternoon, crawling slowly over a bridge perched on high stone pillars. The devout Russians stood. It was a muddy, sluggish river, clogged with floating islands of rafts and large steamers bound for the Caspian Sea. I could just hear the lilting. What is the lilting? The lilting, rhythmic, oar-beating songs of the Volga boatmen over the whistle of steamboats. I am the Volga. Oh, we're actually losing health. 6. What's fog? Oh, what's this? A train crawled up into the Urals, and stopped at the town of Ekaterinburg. We disembarked. We bid farewell to young Rosa. I bid farewell to young Rosa as she was sipping away to see Yek once more. I wish you happiness, I told her. I've never been so happy, she replied enthusiastically. I shook my head and left her. She waved to me from the window as the train blew its whistle and faded away from sight. What was it was like a comb. Did we comb Fogg's hair or something? Alright, the railway cap should be sold handsomely here. Oh, we can sell it here as well. There should be no departure today. We should explore a little. Of course, I always do that. Fur-lined boots, part of the cold climate set. I'm gonna need that. What? This way could be... This one gets sold nicely, 170. Yeah, sure, let's sell that. That way we can make space for the fur-lined boots. Pressure gauge. Portable pressure gauge good for diagnosing problems with steam systems. Nah. Let's explore Ekaterinburg. We discovered a route to Askatran or something. Ekaterinburg was a grand city of the north, a hive of industrial activity, Freight trains and wagons rolled in and out at all hours, carrying all manner of steam this and electro loops that, heading east and west along Russia's Great Back. However, for our purpose, there was only one train. Given the city's size, I could not believe that the Trans-Siberian was the only connection. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. But I think that must be just for the entirety of the, especially just in Siberia, because not many people live there. Like, sure, there might be big capital cities or just one big city, but the rest of it is probably like really barren and empty and whatnot. Only polar bears live there. No, they don't. I was the only connection, so I determined to find something else to offer my master as an alternative. I began my search at a nearby waterfront, an open area to the southeast, a local coffee house. I mean, it is cold here. To warm up with a bit of coffee is actually, that's nice, you know. Thinking that I would find travelers there, the locals treated me like a curious thing found on the bottom of a shoe, and I learned essentially nothing. Thanks for being so friendly and open to tourists. Let's do an open area to the southeast, which I reasoned might be an airfield, and it was, but a military one. Can you give me one good reason why I should allow you to fly with us? What an impertinent line of questioning. Perhaps I can convince you, huh? I replied, opening my wallet. Damn it, they were not sympathetic. I was marched out of the field at gunpoint. By now, it was growing late, so I returned to Monsieur Fogg. My master had passed the hour, sipping a single cup of tea, which, it was clear from the look of his face, he had not enjoyed. Wow. This guy, man, he was sipping on a single cup of tea for hours, and he actually did not enjoy the experience either. Like, you would imagine if you were doing something for a couple of hours, especially something as tedious and just something that should be over in a couple of minutes, like drinking a cup of tea. No, he spent hours on that, but he did not enjoy it. If I did not enjoy something after a couple of minutes, I'd be like, screw this. Unless I was obligated to do it, like I had to do it, then I'll push myself through it. Then I'm like, I have to do it. But if I don't have to, then I'll be like, yeah, no, why should I do this? Because I'd rather spend some, especially because it's something that I then am choosing to do, right? I'm choosing to do something that I do not enjoy, which is weird. Because I'd rather choose something to do that I do enjoy. That just makes the most sense. I think everybody would do that. Let's plan ahead. I am alone. Oh, that guy he is alone in Hong Kong. I'm coming to meet you. Can I go from Pyongyang to Hong Kong? Alright, so let's see, Omsk. Departs tomorrow at 12 noon. Alright, that's nice. I actually have a feeling that we're gonna be pretty low on the health, but let's go back to and take the hotel. Bam, day 20. Before retiring, I attended to Monsieur Fogg. We'll pass the night here. Shall we do that? I'm just gonna explore. I went to explore a little and succeeded in only having my pocket picked to the tune of 28 pounds. No, we lost 28 pounds. Alright, depart. Let's see. This horse box will be our home. Alright, where? Urga. Somebody is gonna make Urga his home. Alright, we can go to Omsk now on the Trans-Siberian Express. But this promised to be worrisome, but the fur coat again saving us. I think we would have frozen to death if we did not buy that fur coat. That is like the MVP purchase. We joined the Trans-Siberian Express in the Urals. Or the Urals. Alright, let's attend to Fogg. A shaved mustache. Excellent. We just combed his mustache. I settled Fogg and went to explore the train, of course, ending up in a car filled with lively cavalry officers, eating smoked fish and playing music. One of them enjoined me to play his balalaika, a kind of triangular mandolin. I accepted eagerly. Sure, why not? I accepted eagerly and strummed a few notes to familiarize myself with the unaccustomed instrument. Once happy with its function, I played a familiar favorite or the new Gilbert and Sullivan tune. I don't think that's gonna be... The Russians will probably think like, what the hell is this? That's the worst Russian voice ever, but we're gonna play a familiar tune called Yip I Addy, a song about a musical fellow called Hermann von Bellow, who was possessed of a rather sizable cello. Our choruses of yips and ayes rather alarmed some of our fellow diners, and I was treated to some colorful local lyrical variations which cast a new light on Herr von Bellow's prodigious talents. The officers were so pleased by my performance that they very generously made me a gift of the very same balalaika. I cannot wait to play it for Monsieur Fogg. Oh yeah, the balalaika should fetch a good price in San Francisco if you don't find a use for it. Let's comb his mustache some more. Thank you, your attention are most beneficial. Time on board trains takes on a meditative quality. I dance like a Kazakh. Sure, why the fuck not? I dance like a Kazakh in the dining car, having consumed an indiscreet quantity of vodka. Of course, dude. You cannot go to Russia and not drink their freaking vodka. You just have to. The Kazakh soldiers cheered me on mercilessly and placed a fox fur cap on my head when I finally collapsed onto the floor in exhaustion. I thanked them weakly, unable to muster any great reserves of courtesy. They laughed good-naturedly at my incapacity. You are an able dancer, passe-partout, they pronounced, and helped me back to my carriage with much ribald mockery. We have a lot of good stuff that we can sell apparently. A starched collar, very good indeed. So we can just pretty much up his health every single time, but just by combing his mustache and every now and then. Alright, so we arrived in Omsk today and stepped off the train in the company of a full score of British, Dutch, and German merchants, with military officers taking their place. I take a brief glimpse of a mysterious couple who boarded what appeared to be a carriage specially emptied for their accommodation, but who they were I did not discover. Royalty perhaps? The fur-lined boots should be quite valuable here. Carries fur-lined boots. 220? Ushanka! Oh, this hat is so awesome, the Ushanka. Holy crap, Western Star. Let's buy this right now. We're planning to go to Pyongyang anyway, right? Sell it for 7,000? I'm surprised that they actually have 7,000 pounds in Pyongyang, but yeah, why the hell not? The Ushanka, a fur-lined Russian hat with ear flaps, somewhat like a collapsed rabbit. You know what, we're gonna sell this and put in the Ushanka, because the Ushanka is just awesome. Got the foxskin cap. Got the balalaika. Look at that thing. Hell yeah. I'm gonna put this in the same whatchamacallit, the same luggage, the same bag. Right, our completed Russian costumes should protect against the cold and help us negotiate times of Russian journeys. Alright, because we're entirely dressed as one. Alright, so this is the route that we've taken so far. But I want to go to Pyongyang though. Alright, so we're at Omsk today. We have to sadly take a good night's sleep. There was only one hotel on a large square across from a fine-looking residence. We found our room and warmed up. We strode over the residence and knocked on the door. You know what? Let's knock. We were, after all, quite the most important travelers to arrive in this important city in some time. After a while, a maid opened and peered at us through dewy eyes. "We are arrived from England," I announced, expecting the Empire to be our passport. Nor was I disappointed. The maid dropped a curtsy and ushered us inside. Wow. I was actually not expecting this welcome at all. I'd be like, England, get the hell out. Welcoming us like the great explorers we were. Although on reflection, I think she did not understand English. That might be, this actually seems like the more plausible thing. And was more impressed by our manner. We learned that the house belonged to the governor of the province of the Russian steppes, a man named Buchholz. We found him reading the works of Dostoevsky, Dostoevsky, which he rapidly hid as we entered. We entertained him with the tales of our adventures, and he assured us we had reached the pinnacle adventure here in Omsk. Somehow I really doubt that the pinnacle of adventure is in freaking Omsk. A major hub soon, he whispered, to become an independent state in its own right. Viva la revolution! Revolution! We could not believe such a thing, but he waved the idea away. Revolution would not be needed, he assured us. Trade was flourishing, and the will was strong. Indeed, he told us, plans were afoot to bring Omsk to international importance with a Siberian exposition of agriculture and mechanical agricultural implements. We could have talked this way all night. Since Monsieur Fogg is sleeping, you know what? I mean, I've been selfish most of the time by just, exploring, which is kind of strange because that's the thing that a tourist does when he's traveling, but that's not Monsieur Fogg's way of traveling because he just wants to go fast and screw everyone else. So, you know what? I'm gonna please him for once. I caught Monsieur Fogg nodding in the corner of my eye, not from assent, but drowsiness. So we bade Buchholz farewell and good fortune. As we left, he asked where we were headed. Into Mongolia. East. Let's just ask him what he would advise. He thought for a moment. Vladivostok is the best way east, he declared, but you may have trouble entering. The city is closed to all but the military. I asked if he could help, and he smiled. Why not? Take a pen and paper from his desk, or taking a pen and paper from his desk, he quickly filled out some military-looking papers from us. These should suffice, he said with a twinkle, and when you return to England, please remember Omsk. We thanked him and left him to his seditious reading and dreams of glory. Oh yeah, we're suave right now. Let's see, when does it... Where are we leaving to? We're at Omsk? Yeah, there's nothing else really to go. I mean, once we're on the Trans-Siberian Railway, there's only so far you can go. Like, you just have to follow the entire road, really. So, Irkutsk arrives tomorrow. Can we go there already? It arrives tomorrow, though. I'm just gonna go back to Omsk. We can still explore here. Oh, wait! Okay, disregard what I was saying before. You can actually go from Omsk to Kabul. So if we decide to change our mind, Omsk was the important stop on the line between Moscow and the Siberian capital of Irkutsk, a fact we were made aware of by a signboard in 5 languages that told us as much just outside the station building. The source of all this importance was unclear. The town was presumably all religious or of religious importance. It was unclear, and as we walked the streets of this minor chilly town, I must say that no obvious reason emerged. Alright, you guys know what time it is. It's time to end the video because in the next one, I'm 90% sure we're gonna go to Irkutsk, but something in my mind tells me that I might want to go to Kabul. Mail airship, but that if we go to Kabul, I guess we could just go through this part of Asia all the way to Pyongyang that way. I mean, that could still work. Like, who cares about Irkutsk, Karumskaya, Vladivostok? Yes, I'm gonna go to Kabul. I've changed my mind completely. Kabul, next video. Let's go! Alright, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the very next video. Peace!